Hello, it's Mary, the Daydream Stitcher, and today it's Flosstube 500, 300,000, and we're gonna do my whip parade thing. And it's February a billion, and yeah. So there's my little intro.
Hey, it's really me now. It's Mary, the Daydream Stitcher. That intro was from my beautiful daughter. She just had a birthday a couple of days ago. I can't believe it. Today is February the 2nd, 2024. This is Flosstube 64. And this is my channel all about cross stitch. Today's video is specifically about my January stitching, my plans that I have changed slightly since my last video. It has been over a month since my last video, which was a whip parade. And now I'm back to my regular update. So here we go. Thanks for joining me today. So I'm going to scoot over a little bit here. I am going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to see. Every time I do this, I feel like it's a brand new experiment. So we'll see. But I'm going to try clipping this to a board and see if that works. Let me know if it doesn't work for you, and then I won't do that. But, you know, each time I try something a little bit different. So I'm just going to start showing my stitching, and then I will talk about the plans and why I chose what I chose. Because I did a couple different things, and you're here to see what I stitched. So for January, the way that I chose what I was going to stitch was mostly acrostics in the groups that I'm in, and I needed a lot of ease. So that's Elliott. So I stitched on this one. This is Blue Ornaments by Joan Elliott. Now, okay, so I didn't do much on this one, and I feel like it's really dark when I hold it closer. Does it look dark? I don't know. I hope you can see that okay. I didn't do that much stitching, and my neighbor has decided today is a good day to work in his workshop outside my window. I don't know if you can hear him. Good for him, but really... So this is Blue Ornaments by Joan Elliott, as I already said, and this is stitched on a 32 count Lugana, I think it is. And since I last showed it, I really haven't done that much more. I worked on the Season's Greetings. Which one is that? This one. I worked in Season's Greetings, filling in a little more of the back stitch. I'm about to start another one down here, and... well, you know, these ones I finished, and this one has the Krynick and the beading on it. But then I realized that since I'm stitching several on one piece, it's kind of hard to keep it in the Q-snap with the beads and the Krynick on it. So I went to finishing these in the blue DMC, and then I will add the Krynick and the beads after somehow, without it being, you know, smashed by the Q-snap clamps. This one is not quite finished. As you can see, there's still a few things left, and I couldn't fully backstitch that angel yet because she has Krynick in her, and I think a bead or two. So I stopped on her for now until I get that in, and then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to start a new one. I think the one I'll do next is says Joy, and it has bells on it. So hopefully next video I'll be able to show you another ornament, or at least a start on another ornament here. Am I holding it up too high? Okay, that's that one. So a lot of the, you know, you doing the acrostics, there are vowels, and so A and E particularly I find have been used in January, stitching on, oops. So with using the acrostics for pulling my whips out, the letters A and E tend to be used frequently in the words. So this is for A. In the month of January, I stitched on And Be Kind Sampler from Needlework Press. And this is where I got on this one. I definitely think that it's dark. The lighting is not working there, but I hope you can see that okay. This is stitched on a 36 Country Vintage Mocha linen. And since you last saw it, I believe that I put in these letters, the top two rows, I think, of letters I had this row, some of this row. This stuff was here. So this was what I worked on, the letters, and that tends to go pretty quickly. So I definitely saw progress with that one. That is part of a sal that Beth, Steadfast Stitcher, and I started last year called the Be Kind Easter Sal. We are still plugging away on it. Some of the other lovely ladies have finished theirs, but we are still working, so we would love to have you join us if you're so inclined, and you could start that anytime. It doesn't have to be on Easter. We just so happened that that was a good day for us to start it. We bought that pattern at the same time, at the same LNS here in Florida, so that's one reason that we started it together. So I did join WhipGo this year. Since my last video, after the beginning of January, I decided to jump in on WhipGo because I found it helpful before. So I filled out my board, I printed it out, hand wrote it in, and then I promptly lost it. And I usually take pictures of it so that I can refer back on my phone if I lose the paper. But I can't find a picture of it either. So I don't know what my February WhipGo pieces are supposed to be, even though I know what the numbers I've pulled. So I don't remember what they are. I may just make a new board. I think I just kind of went in order of I made a photo album of my 24 whips that I wanted to focus on. So probably they're just in that order, so I might just do that. But meanwhile, I do know for January that I did stitch what I had for January. And so one of those pieces was my green Courtyard in the Shire, which is what I just refer to as my Hobbit house. And this is, again, dark, don't know why. Lots of light in here. It's not as dark as it looks. This is by Cute Patterns by Maria on Etsy. And I thought that I would be able to finish this in the month of January. I did not, but I filled in a lot here. I don't know if you can hear the table saw outside my window. Sorry, but you know what? The stars have to be aligned for me to do this, and so they seemed aligned until the workshop guy decided. He doesn't work out there all that often, but whatever. That's fine. I'm fine. All's fine. I did stitch on, I filled a lot of this in. I had a lot of gaps and holes in here that I need to fill in, so I filled in a lot of green. There's a couple colors that I need to locate to finish this part of it. And you know how it is. I think, oh, there's not that much stitching. I could easily get this done in a couple days, but I did spend a lot of hours stitching on it, and it's just go, go, go. Like there's a lot more to do, really, I think. Well, not a lot more. It's just a good, heavy couple more hours, a couple days of stitching, I guess. But I do hope to have this finished by the end of the year. No excuses on this one. This is really, I mean, this part's done. I got to fill in some things here, and then this goes, you know, right here. So it's pretty much just this corner that needs to be filled in. There's grass and some more, you know, some more green. The good news is most of the back stitching is done on what is already stitched, so the back stitching would just be on whatever else I have to stitch here, but most of the back stitching is already completed. So that step shouldn't be too much more time. And then I had the letter D in some of my, or at least one of my acrostics in my group. So for D, of course, I had to get out one of my Dimensions kits and get some work done on that. So I chose Japanese Garden for that one. And here's where I am on that. I stitched on this for several days. I started on this tree here, the pink flowers here, and I filled in a lot of this with this hedge. There's a tall green hedge here and the blue sky, which I really am encouraged to get that sky in, because it really adds to the depth of the piece, the dimension of the piece, if you will. And so I'm really feeling good about that, because now it's really starting to look like the beautiful painting that it is based on. And lots more pink. Lots more to stitch here in that pink tree. I haven't been very good about sharing what I'm stitching on, you know, fabric-wise, or where something comes from. If you're interested in one of my pieces that I've showed and I did not mention that, I will post it below in the description, so you can look in there if you're curious, or you can always ask me. So I do know for WhipGo that my other number for January was the Treehouse of Winter from Sew to Stitch, which I was super excited that it ended up that way, because I'm wanting to stitch all 4 seasonal tree houses from Sew to Stitch within 2024 to finish them all. That is a very important goal that I have, because I want to return the patterns back to my friend Amber, Road Mama Stitcher. So I really want to get that done. And I started the Treehouse of Winter, was my New Year's start. I started New Year's Eve of this past New Year's. So I did stitch on this for Whip Go. Not as much as I would have liked. This is the Treehouse of Winter down here. Avert your eyes. No. This is where I got on Treehouse of Winter. It doesn't look like very much room, does it? I did measure. I did do my homework. It's going to be really tight. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know. But here's Treehouse of Summer, which I've shown quite a bit. It's one of my finishes from 2023. So summer's finished. Winter will go down here. And then hopefully I will have room to squeeze the other two on there as well. If I have enough room, I'd like to finish them separately and not leave them all on one piece, especially because they'll be a little mixed up, I guess, in that order, but we'll see. We'll see. Right now the goal is just to get them finished. So, like I said, I did measure, but again, it doesn't leave me much room and it makes me nervous. I started in the middle of where I thought I needed to be. I wish I had started this tree, I wish I had stitched this tree up higher. But at the time, I didn't really have a hard and fast plan as far as stitching them all on this piece. I knew I wanted to do them all in the same background, and I didn't really think ahead to like, oh, I could probably try to squeeze them all on there until after I already had started. So I like the board idea in concept, but I think next time I'm gonna look for a smaller board. I do have, or I used to have some smaller boards, and I think that they would work better than what I'm trying to use here. So. This is a Luca kit for L. I do know my first letter for my acrostic leap year and crafts and books from my friend Beth at Steadfast Stitcher will be L, but I'll probably do a Lindy Stitches for that. So for Luca-S is a cross stitch kit designer, and this is where I have for here. Let me see. Okay, maybe the lighting's better on this side. I worked on this part here, down here. It came down here. This is the next page. This is the middle, obviously, so I started working down here in that area there. Yeah, I think I like it better on this side. Maybe I'll try the rest of them that way. This one is Signs of Winter from Shannon Christine. I did change these colors from red and green to blue and green. And this is where I am on this one. This is Sleigh Rides, the first one. Did not finish this one this time because that white border I'm not loving. You know, I talked last time about, you know, stitching in white and how my stitches tend to be sloppier in white than my colored ones, and quite a few of you responded in the comments to say that you also had the same issue. So thank you. It makes me feel less alone. I'm glad it's not just me. There's something about white that it doesn't want to lay the same way as the colored ones. I don't know if it has to do with the dye process or the lack thereof, or the things, what is used for it, but it never quite looks right. And so I'm glad that it's not just me. So this is actually 3865 that I'm using for this white, which is an off-white. But I'm almost there. This is stitched on, okay, so it's called, what is called for is Vintage Country Mocha is the called for, which would be great because it's darker than this. When I kitted this up, I couldn't, well, let's put it this way. 1, 2, 3 stitch when I was buying things and I got the fabric for this at the same time. They were out of Vintage Country Mocha. I always say that in the wrong order. So I purchased Light Mocha, which this is, which is very pretty, but obviously it's lighter. So the white doesn't show up as well on it. So I did backstitch the word rides, which I don't love it. I mean, I don't love the backstitching, but I'm gonna leave it. So, I mean, you know, it's a suggestion of snow. Speaking of snow and white, I wanted to mention a Flosstube channel that I've been meaning to shout out. Maybe I have before. If not, I'm sorry because I've been meaning to. It's Snickerdoodle Stitches. I've been watching her for most of last year, I think, or as long as for maybe the past 6 months I've been watching her. I think her name's Kathleen. That's just off the top of my head. I will double check that, and if I'm wrong, I'll put it down here at the bottom. But it is Snickerdoodle Stitches, and she is wonderful. She she stitches a lot of different things, the kind of things that I really enjoy, you know, stitching or looking at. And she recently did a flip through of The Magic of Christmas, the French embroidery books, which I loved seeing inside of those, what they actually look like. Beautiful. And anyway, she was talking about white and the fact that she hates stitching in white. I don't know if it's for that reason or she just doesn't like, she finds it boring, but she was talking about how she loves to stitch snowmen and she loves to stitch snow. And so what are you going to do? You know, you kind of have to go with it. I was mentioning this, actually I filmed this video a little bit ago, right after my, you know, at the same time that my daughter did the intro. She was sitting here then with me and we did this video once already and it was completely out of focus. I hope I'm not out of focus right now. I'm a little worried about that because I can't tell. But so we were out of focus and so I had to redo it. But I might be out of focus right now actually. And I don't know why, because this is a whole other rant, but my camera, it's a good camera, but for some reason, if I find the setting that works, then the next time I go to use it, it's not saved or whatever. So anyway, that's a whole other thing. But anyway, my daughter was saying, well, could you maybe like stitch like snow, like blue snow or green snow? I'm like, I don't know. That's not really snow though, is it? We wouldn't know because we're in Florida. So snow, my kids have seen snow. I went to college in Virginia, which some people would say is still south, right? But I did experience winter there when I was in college there. My kids have seen a little bit of snow on the ground, but it's kind of like a mythological kind of concept, like the big snowdrifts and things like that to us. So one day we'll experience, you know, the real thing, I think. So this is Blue Jays. Was I going to hold it on this side? I don't know. Now it doesn't look better. But this is Blue Jays by Riolis. Sorry for moving this around. My window's right there, and so I would think that the light from there would work, but Blue Jays is a Riolis kit, and it is done with the kit fabric and the kit floss. And I started this with Calico Whimsy, Ashley Stitching Corner, and a lovely European gal that I cannot remember the name of off the top of my head. I'm really sorry, but I can picture her. But anyway, she and Calico Whimsy have finished theirs a while ago, and Ashley and I are still stitching away on it. I haven't pulled this out in quite a while, and so I pulled it out for both B and for R, and I really liked getting back into it again. Thank you, Ashley, at Ashley Stitching Corner, because she again sent me a picture of the cards that are pre-sorted. My dog was a puppy when I started this kit, and he got into, my fault, but I left it laying where he could get it, and he got into the floss card and tore those up. I still have plenty of floss, but the numbers are no longer matching on them. So with some of with these sorts of colors, it's quite easy to figure those out, but some of the grays is a little bit confusing, and there's actually less grays than it appears that there are, if that makes sense. So like when I'm using them, I always feel like they're different shades of gray, but they're not. There's like dark gray, light gray, like a brown tannish gray, kind of grayish color. So yeah, I don't know. But Ashley's been a huge help in helping me to rematch, figure out what's what. So I was happy to get some more. I mostly worked on this guy. Happy to get some more of that filled in the background there. So that's Blue Jays. Nice winter piece. Speaking of snow. When I was growing up here, Blue Jays were every day. Like every day you would hear that squawking from Blue Jays, and I have noticed that in the last, I don't know, 10 years or something, I don't hear Blue Jays anymore. Is that just in my area or is that everywhere? I don't know. Are they diminishing? Blue Jays were a huge staple. Our state bird is the mockingbird, but Blue Jays are almost like a state bird, or they were when I was growing up, certainly. I mean, always squawking jays. But now it's very rare that I hear them, and I'm curious why that is. I'm not much of a birder. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time on birding or anything like that, but I love hearing the birds sing in the trees, and I try to learn different kinds and pay attention to that. And I'm just wondering if there is what's going on with that. It makes me sad. Just like when you drive down a country road now, you don't get hit with bugs on the windshield like I did when I was a kid. I'm sure that's because of all the pesticides and things like that. That's a whole other video, and I'm not going to get into that, but it's something that I notice, and it makes me kind of sad that that's not there. I miss the squawking blue jays. I have one more thing to show you, and I'm not going to put this on the board because I don't want to put clips on it. This is the round robin that I was invited to participate in. I am supposed to be done. I was supposed to mail this off by February the 1st, and I'm only halfway done. So I apologize to anyone that this is holding up. But here are my girls, or here's my, oops. But here are my girls. Is my girl, I should say. This one is one I'm working on. She's only halfway done. I'm going to spend most of this evening working on her. I have a long weekend at work coming up, but I will get as many stitches in her as I can. Let's see her skirt and her legs, and there's a little doggy there. I think it's a dog. Yeah. Pulling out her skirt. And so this piece right here is Amber's piece. And so Amber has the first girl, then Jordan. So Amber is Rogue Mama Stitcher. Jordan is Tattooed Stitcher. Bernadette is Burn Stitches. Jamie is Teeny Weeny Stitches. We miss you in Flosstube, Jamie, so much. And then this is mine, Mary. And then here will go the sixth girl, and last final girl will be Maggie of Kitschy Whips. And then I will get to stitch on Jamie's piece, I think it is. Is that how it works? Yeah. I'll get to stitch girl number 6 on Jamie's piece. And then hopefully we'll be finished, and we'll have a complete 6 girls with 6 stitchers, and I am just so delighted and thankful that I am getting to be part of that round robin. How fun, how fun. So guys, that's it. I'm gonna go upload this video. I'm gonna go check this video, make sure that it's semi in focus this time, and that you can actually see my stitching. And I don't think I have anything else to talk about. I hope you guys have a great February and that you get lots of stitching, and I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me.